What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. And today I want to take just a moment to look at Burst Protocol. It had its opening weekend this weekend. The prices were insanely high and it's taken an absolute dump. Not all the way to the bottom, I would say, but it's definitely dropped in price quite a bit. There are tons of Starlight Rares in this set, Secrets and Ultras. There's actually one Ultra we're going to look at in particular that's doing pretty well. But obviously, the star of the show is the Forbidden Crown card, which I had pulled up. Sorry, I don't know why it's not pulled up anymore. But the Starlight Rare Forbidden Crown was like $400, and there was tons of sales at $400, which is absolutely insane. Sales have slowed down, and the price has moved down to about the $240 range. There is only about 3 pages of listings for this. Some of these I would say are not real, like this one's not real, this one's not real, so be careful of that if you are going to purchase this. But obviously this is a pretty overpowered card, and so if you want to get your hands on it, $250 compared to $400 is better, but I do see it going down just a little bit further. Also, the Secret Rare rarity, which I have also had pulled up, my bad guys, is considerably cheaper. There are tons of listings of this. There's been tons of sales. There's been 738 of them sold, which is absolutely insane. These are about $60, so to get a playset of these is a lot more affordable than to get the Starlight Rare. But if you want to bling out your deck to the max, I totally understand. I do want to take 1 second just to talk about channel sponsor, aka myself. I am offering a consulting service to other sellers on TCG Player that have big inventories that don't want to go through and price them, because I know how frustrating and time consuming that is. If you want to contact me about adjusting your inventory for you, I do have a link to this PDF for you to read and learn all about this service that I'm offering in the description of this video, as well as in my channel's description. So go ahead and reach out to me if you think I could be of help to you. Another awesome card in this set is the Fallen White Dragon card here. Very cool looking. This is the Starlight Rare specifically. I'm going to start getting these all loading here while we are doing this, because for some reason they went to sleep. But this has seen a lot more sales than the Starlight Rare Forbidden Crown, and these are all $268 roughly sales. There are some ghost listing on this that you want to be aware of, but they are about $260, and mind you, there are only 4 listings of this Starlight Rare card, so if you want this, you probably would want to hurry up, although I will say that is very, very expensive, and there is the Secret Rare alternative rarity that you could get your hands on for. I think a playset of these would definitely run you less than the price for just one Starlight. There's been tons of sales on these as well. I know that because of the Chronicles deck, the hype and love for the Fallen cards has been at an all-time high recently, and lots of people playing this for fun and at locals and maybe even in Genesis. This one, on the other hand, has 3 pages of listings, so there are definitely a lot more of these on the market than the Starlight Rare, so it wouldn't be that hard to get your hands on one of these. I do want to take just 1 second and look at Stardust Dragon Assault Mode Starlight Rare, because this one was something I had been inspired to look into, looking at the older Assault Mode cards, and honestly, hasn't been a whole lot of sales. There's been no sales today, actually. There have been some sales, though, yesterday at about the $52 price point. That is exactly where this card is at. There are over 4 pages of listings on this, so it's definitely not as hard to get your hands on this, and it's definitely a cheaper Starlight Rare out of the set. Definitely not necessarily a star of the show, but people like the Assault Mode cards because they played, back when 5Ds was at type and things like that, Not saying anyone's a Yu-Gi-Oh boomer for playing back then, but definitely some people out there that would love this card for the collection or just to reminisce about the olden days. As for Ecclesia the Dark Dragon, this is the Secret Rare version, only about $20. This has seen quite a few sales. Today even, there's almost a playset that's been sold to one individual, all about $20, and really that is where this is at. Before then, it was pretty high up there. Looking at the trend here, about $52. That was when it was the pre-sale price. Usually pre-sale prices are about double for what they are after the opening weekend, in a sense, and so this has definitely come down. Plenty of pages of listings if you want to get your hands on one of these. But yeah, Secret Rare Ecclesia the Dark Dragon, very cool looking and probably very effective for the Dogmatica Ecclesia decks out there. I do want to take just one moment here to talk about the Rocket cards. This is an ultra rare out of the set, and honestly, if you take a look here at the pages here, I think this is on page 3 is where this ultra rare is. It is kind of impressive to see an ultra rare for an archetype that wasn't necessarily super duper hyped. Maybe it was page 2, my bad guys. Super duper hyped in comparison to like Forbidden Crown and the other cards that have come out that are a lot more popular. But if you go here and check, there's an ultra rare on page 2. That's actually fairly expensive. So pretty interesting. Not like all that expensive, honestly. It was probably worth a considerably higher amount before the pre-release weekend, or like the weekend and the sales and things like that. But it still is for about $5 for an ultra rare out of the set, as long as it's not short printed and you're opening it. You get a couple of these and be able to sell them and get quite a good amount of money for an ultra rare. That monster specifically, not a spell or a hand trap or anything like that. So that's pretty impressive in my opinion. There are definitely plenty of pages of listings, but I do know that the Borreload and the Rocket cards had gotten some hype, obviously, given that the cover card is a Borreload card. And so do be aware of that, especially if you are looking to play into that in case it gets even more hyped and this doubles or triples or something like that, because this was previously about $10, which is what I was guessing, but it still is at about $5. Actually over $5 with shipping included. $1.31, $1.49 shipping on this one. The guy's asking more for shipping than most people would. And it quickly goes up from there. So that's pretty interesting to me. And on a side note, just a quick side note topic of discussion here. This is banned, Topologic Gumball Dragon. It only has one printing, Secret Rare from Battles of Legend, Relentless Revenge. And if this was to come off the ban list, I know this would definitely help the Borreload cards because it does some crazy stuff. And just really message your opponent up, making them discard 2 cards and things like that. Only $1.60 here, Near Mint First Edition. Lots of Near Mint First Editions listed here, but if this was to come off the ban list in the future, which I doubt it, but just saying, this probably wouldn't be a bad card to have a couple copies of in order to sell later on, especially given that if you look inside of Burst Protocol, there are other Topologic cards, Topologic Blaster Dragon, and things like that. And so just be aware of that, because that could potentially become a pricey card, or someone plays it at Genesis or at locals and things like that. So this price could definitely change in the future if people were to get excited about it. And there have been some sales in the last couple of days, not a whole lot, but just do be aware of this Topologic Gumball Dragon, because it is a pretty cool card, very effective card, very powerful card, and it goes along with that archetype, especially with the new support that just came out in Burst Protocol. I want to thank you guys for watching my video. Please come back, please subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next Market Watch.